Welcome to your Barbados Today evening news update for Tuesday, August 29. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. Stop illegal dumping. That's the plea from the manager of the wastewater division of the Barbados Water Authority, Patricia Innes, as the BWA continues feverish efforts to repair a ruptured 24-inch main at Hart Street, the city. The broken main was discovered on Sunday after an incident. During a routine flushing exercise at Hart Street, the road caved in under a truck, leaving a gaping hole estimated to be 15 to 20 feet wide and 30 feet deep. Innes told Barbados Today the rupture was caused by a large number of rags being dumped in the sewage system, and she urged Barbadians to desist from dumping.
Even as we were fighting with this rupture, on Sunday we were fighting with River Road, and actually which was closed, shut down for a large percentage of the weekend because of the amount of rags literally shutting down the stations. So we're concerned that Barbados, though some train, need to understand that the sewer has to be protected and that they have to control these items that are being deposited by some manner, I don't know, into the sewer lines.
Innes also gave assurances that the work would soon be completed.
At this stage, we need to let Barbadians know that we had identified a major breach in the sewer, in the sewage line. We are correcting it as expeditiously as possible. And we are hoping, and let's say they are determined that they are going to be able to finish it tonight. We will let you know if their greatest hopes and intentions fall short. But we're hoping to finish it tonight.
A high-ranking officer of the Barbados Defense Force is staying clear of the debate on whether soldiers should join police in arresting the worrying spate of gun violence. Chief of Staff Colonel Glenn Granham, however, believes the force does have a role to play in keeping youth on the right path. Speaking to Barbados Today following the closing ceremony of the all-armed drill instructor course at St. Anne's Fort Garrison St. Michael, Granham declined to comment on the recent announcement by Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite to call out the Army. He said the cadet corps and the BDF sports program are effective in responding to early signs of indiscipline and should therefore be strengthened.
I would say pivotal, effective as well in attracting and in molding youth to develop qualities of discipline, self-reliance, teamwork, and also a citizenship, good citizenship. And I think the records would show over the last, say, 5 years, we've had very successful programs in both areas.
Stigma, especially by healthcare providers, remains a major hurdle in the fight against HIV and AIDS in the region. And for the joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS Office in the Caribbean, tackling this form of discrimination is a top priority. Regional Director for Latin America and the Caribbean, Cesar Nunez, tells Barbados Today he's disheartened by such negative reports.
Which should be actually the first place where this should have gone away. I feel that every opportunity that public servants or people doing public health and everybody working on the response have to address it, to bring it to the table and talk about it. That will be the only way to make sure that it really starts going down. You cannot send stigma and discrimination away by decree or just because you rewrite a law. This is embedded in our culture.
The Trinidad-based Seismic Research Center is reporting that an earthquake occurred southwest of Barbados around 12:56 this morning. The quake was a magnitude of 4.9 with a depth of 10 kilometers. It was located at 12.35 degrees north, longitude 60.48 degrees west. The quake was also felt in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Trinidad and Tobago. Sporting action now. West Indies produced a masterful chase to win a test in England for the first time in 17 years with a 5-wicket victory in a thrilling match. The nerveless Shea Hope led them to their target of 322, becoming the first man to score a century in both innings of a first-class match at Headingley. Opener Craig Brathwaite had earlier struck a superb 95 after being dropped by Alistair Cook on 4. Aided by Jermaine Blackwood's 41, Hope hit the winning runs to finish on 118. Victory for the tourists, which looked unlikely at the start of day 5, particularly given their heavy defeat in the first test, ties the series at 1-all before the decider at Lord's. That happens from September 7 to 11.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
We run it down. Everybody know we the baddest around. Anything test, we will throw that down. Come in, Peter, and tell me how me sound. Yes, lyric, you're talking the truth. When we walk up there, they have to salute. Why when we put on we trident suit, we put everybody from you. Let's go tridents. Barbados tridents. Let's go tridents. Barbados tridents. Wash them all. Dust them all. Send them all, run them all, brush them all, get them all, dust them all. You know why? Barbados tridents is better than anything. Nothing can test with repeating.
To regional happenings, Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is headed to hurricane-ravaged Houston in the United States, where residents are desperately trying to pick up the pieces. Skerrit, who described the situation as a catastrophic disaster, says he's been touched by the devastation. He disclosed that several Dominican families are living in Houston and most have lost their homes and possessions and had to be rescued by small boats. Skerrit says he's hoping to meet with the affected Dominicans at the earliest opportunity to lend a helping hand. He's also proposing to mount a fundraising drive to provide the much-needed assistance. And on the international front, even as Texas braced for more torrential rains from Hurricane Harvey as frantic rescue efforts continue, heavy rainfall has started to paralyze parts of the Indian financial capital of Mumbai as traffic chaos sparked by flooding streets prompted officials to warn residents to abandon stranded vehicles and remain indoors. An unrelenting downpour battered low-lying parts of the city earlier today, with some areas receiving almost 12 inches of rain. Weather forecast suggested that the rain will continue over the next 48 hours before it begins to decrease. Vehicles gingerly made their way through waterlogged roadways as residents sloshed through flooded streets, navigating waist-high water in some areas after being sent home early from offices and schools. And we hope that all are safe in this situation. And on that note, we come to the end of our news and sports update. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadosstudy.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media, that's in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And don't forget Mix 96.9 FM, where you can get the very latest. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.